Hello Necromancers, today we are looking at upcoming 12.13 patch changes. Just be aware that some things might change before patch hit live servers. If you enjoy this type of content, please leave like and comment down below about your favorite change. Let's start things off with system changes. Assassins were underperforming for a couple of patches now due to durability changes. Most assassins went for bruiser build to compensate. So Duskblade, Prowlers and Eclipse are all getting new mythic passive. Plus 5 move speed per legendary item. But Eclipse will have damage proc on ranged champions halved in order to help assassins and not make lethality marksmen insanely strong. And last but not least, Divine Sunderer will scale less with max HP, but it gets 125% base AD ratio. Also, the healing is adjusted from 6 and 3% to 65% per mitigation damage. That's it for the item changes. Now let's jump into champion changes. And let's start with the top lane. First change is for our Crocodile Boy. Riot is giving his ultimate some love as he received 10% bonus AD ratio on his ultimate. Remember, Renekton ultimate is damage over time, so Bruiser Renekton will have more benefit than Assassin. Next up on the list is Kled. His Q and W both gets buffed. His Q is getting some lovely AD ratio buffs. And his W gets cooldown lowered by 1 second. Okay guys, now I suggest you to pause the video and like before you go and grab some popcorn because we have a lot to talk about our next champion. There are a lot of changes for Gwen. I will go through them as fast as I can. So her HP regen is getting buffed. Q damage, E bonus range and ultimate damage are all increased. But her center snip true damage is reduced by 25% and the ability will deal less damage to minions. It will deal bonus damage to minions below 20% health. Also, her E cooldown refund now scale with ability rank instead of flat 50%. She will now be stronger in direct combat. That's it for top lane guys. Let's head into jungle. First changes in the jungle are for Volibear. This guy was dominating jungle role with a 54% win rate. First we start with movement speed and base damage nerfs on his Q. His W-HP ratio and base damage are also nerfed. On his E, his percent max HP damage, non-champion damage are both getting nerfs. Cooldown is increased and lifesteal is getting capped to 20% at all ranks. And last change is to his bonus health ratio on his ultimate. It's getting nerfed to 120% bonus AD from 165%. Next up on our list of changes is Evelynn. Her HPS is increased. Her W magic resist shred is buffed and her ultimate now puts her passive on a 1.25 seconds CD. Which is nice quality of life change for her. Now it's time to talk a bit about Talia. Her Q damage and mana cost are getting some love. Bonus monster damage is reduced from 30 to 25, but her second Q cast now stuns monsters. Her ultimate now won't be placed on CD if she attacks enemy ward or trap. Again, nice quality of life change. Here we have some buffs to Master Yi. His base attack range is increased by 50. On his Q you are now able to decide where your champion is gonna appear after Alpha Strike is done casting. His WCD is being reduced from 28 to 9 seconds. Mana cost is now 40 plus 6% max mana per second. And for the first 0.5 seconds for his W damage reduction is 90%. Next up is our Spider Lady. Elise is getting her base HP, health growth and starting armor and human form Q base damage are all going up. This might help her become a bit stronger in the early game. Here we have small changes for our boy Karthus. His base armor and health growth are buffed. This will make his dueling a bit better in early stages of the game. For Olaf we have some nerfs and buffs. His health regen is getting nerfed but his passive max bonus attack speed is up by 20% in early game. Also his Q mana cost is increase. Next up is Fiddlesticks with some interesting buffs. His fear duration and ultimate damage are both buffed. Watch out for this guy in this patch. We are done with jungle changes. Next up is mid lane. We have some changes for Corki. His E-AD ratio is increased while his ultimate base damage and AP ratio gets nerfed. Riot is trying to top AP Corki mid. And now we have a buff for Galio. His Q max HP base damage and AP ratio are increased. This might help Galio get some more time on the Rift. And last change for mid lane is buff to Vex Q cooldown and AP ratio. I love this change. If you ate all your popcorns, go make some more because we are diving into Sivir rework. She is getting a bunch of base stats adjustments. Her passive now gives more movement speed, but it decays over 1.5 seconds instead of staying for 2 seconds flat. Her Q will now have total AD ratio lowered but will have extra scaling with critical strike up to 50% damage. Her cast time is now scaling with attack speed. Cooldown will be 8 seconds at all ranks and cost less mana. And last thing is that now her Q will travel faster outwards but slower when it is coming back. Her Q will now have total AD ratio lowered but will have extra scaling with critical strike up to 50% damage. Her cast time is now scaling with attack speed. Cooldown will be 8 seconds at all ranks and cost less mana. And last thing is that now her Q will travel faster outwards but slower when it is coming back. E won't have mana refund anymore but will instead heal Sivir and proc her passive. CD is increased a bit. Her ultimate now has reduced CD. Attack speed is removed. Don't worry, it's now on. Her W ultimate duration is increased and it refreshes now on takedown. While it's up, every auto attack reduce Sivir's basic ability cooldowns by 0.5 seconds. That's it for the champion changes. In this patch, Nilah will join us. If you wanna see her in action, check links in the description down below. That's it for my first patch review. If you guys like my effort, please leave a subscribe and comment your favorite changes in this upcoming patch.